Even the unconceivable. All the demons that show me speak Hebrew. We play peekaboo, unpredictable, unexplainable, inexplicable, undefinable, undescriptible, underrated, unequivocal, unforgivable. Feeling like I become invisible. Underground like the mud and mineral. Industry is so fucking pitiful. Only signing the thugs and criminal. Honestly, I would love to kill a few. Treat around like a blood and crip would do. Get it schooled, I would punch the principal. Treat the system like what would Hitler do. If I take the breath God give you to breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is deep. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is deep.
Dodge in the rainstorms gotta be chained on, frozen like brain freeze. Golden like 18, swollen like 8 beams. From the borough where they take cream. Shit, we throw in the mainstreams. Leave a nigga sniffing in state greens. Look, you're sweeter than pastries. Cheaping on lace squeeze. Got a nigga face ski. Say cheese, had to rub it in like rapeseed. Pillar bleed blue like Grape Street. Spitting over break beats, slipping off always beats. I got the gas, baked beans. God is a gnat that can make memes. Not in an app, make cream. I got it in the bag, rake leaves. I did dirt since my late teens. Now it's a must if we stay clean. Established trust, stay cream. Added up with no late fees. Mad as fuck when you waste cream. It's adding up through the late fees. Mars attack, that's a space beat. Mars attack like a hate speech. Mars intact like we make drinks. Mars is back like a lace string. Look, roll up some trees, we can pour up some tea. Flow like a CD, you know that it's me. Pablo appearing on Holy Ghost 3. Though it's a beat, we gon' bon appetit. A home, I'm a beast on the road, I'm a freak. You don't flow, we don't speak, that's the code of the street.
If I take the breath God give you to breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is deep. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is deep.
Turn up. Let's go. 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 Let's go. Let's fucking go. That's right, baby. That right there is called Breathless off of the Holy Ghost album. Make sure y'all go and pick that up. It's going to be streaming on March 9th. Tell a friend and tell a friend. All right, y'all. We about to do this motherfucking Melanin Tuesdays. I need y'all to share the link. I need y'all to share the link like y'all out there sharing rumors and whatnot. Spread the motherfucking link like y'all out here spreading rumors and whatnot. Send this shit around. Let the people know that we back. You know what I'm talking about? This is a brand new channel right here. Know the Ledge 44. And I'm standing on this shit. We're going to get this channel up to 100,000 by the end of the first quarter. You know what I'm talking about? Share this shit like a rumor. I'm tired. I got a lot of emails talking about they miss me and, oh, I miss you on YouTube and all of this other stuff. And where you guys at? We here right here. We right here. Like, what's popping? We here. You know what I'm talking about? We are here. You know what I'm talking about? We are here. We're in the motherfucking building. You know, shout out to my IG family. I'm broadcasting simultaneously on IG and YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. The channel is Know the Ledge 44. That is the new channel. We're going to build this channel up. This channel is going to be running. I'm going to let you know what we'll be doing on this channel, because it's not going to be the same thing that we was doing on the other channels, but you will be getting you'll be getting uploads, you'll be getting lives, you'll be getting what you've been getting. You know what I mean? So make sure that you press the subscribe button. Make sure that you turn on the notifications. Just make sure you there. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's do the roll call, because I want to know who's in the building tonight before we go in. I definitely want to know who is in the building. We got a powerful show. A lot of things are going on. We're going to cover some things leading up to this powerful demonstration that I have. I got a powerful demonstration coming up on Thursday. All right. 222. We are going to be rolling out the quote unquote full lecture for we're going to be doing a free workshop, a free lecture for that matter, for this presentation right here, Aesthetic Nihilism, #Vultures. And on 3/22, which is a month from now, we are going to be debuting our video essay. It's going to be like a 2-hour quote unquote, like a documentary. It will be it will feature production that will have a mixed media. A mixed media means we will incorporate music, we will incorporate film, and we will also incorporate a level of editing that you guys probably haven't seen before. It's gonna feel like a movie. We're gonna debut that shit in a theater. Okay, we're gonna debut it in a theater, and that is on 3/22, and that's going to be dealing with the aesthetic nihilism. And it may be a little bit deeper than that. I think if my memory serves me correct, we agreed upon Into Deep. Okay, so we're gonna be doing Into Deep on 3/22, and that's what we're going to be previewing in about a few days on Thursday with this powerful presentation. But shit, we might as well get it started today. So today we just gonna get it started. We're gonna start the conversation, and we're gonna break some things down. So I'm sure we have some new people in the building, but we also have some KT Alien veterans who've been with us for a minute and whatnot. So y'all are going to be familiar with the aesthetic nihilism series that we've been doing. We've been doing the aesthetic nihilism series for a few years now. I just had somebody yesterday, was Pop Smoke's anniversary of his untimely passing and whatnot, and they said that he died 4 years ago. And we've been doing aesthetic nihilism even before that, because we did an episode of aesthetic nihilism right after he got killed and whatnot, so we could break down what it is that is taking place in this culture that we may not be familiar as to what we're looking at, right? And what I mean by that is, if we're not realizing what nihilism is, if we don't know what this German philosophy is, if we don't understand that living in a Western society where the quote unquote philosophy of the Western world has been influenced by German philosophy, because the majority of Americans, right, or the majority of Europeans in America, let me rephrase that. The majority of Europeans in America are their nationality is German. Okay, that's something that they did not tell us in school. That's something that I had to find out later on through research and whatnot. The majority of immigrants in America from Europe are German. Okay, so they taught you in college, they taught you in high school, and they also taught you in other places of high learning and whatnot about Nietzsche. They taught you about German philosophy, and that is what powers the westernized man, and that's what powers the Western mind. Okay, even when you talk about Zionism over there, and is it real and whatnot, there's a level of German philosophy that they're moving with. So aesthetic nihilism is it's really speaking on the aesthetics of nihilistic culture, right? And the culture that we belong to right now, that is called hip hop, is the quote unquote It is the brainchild, and it is also the capstone of the aesthetic nihilism, right? So that's what we're going to be getting into right now. What's going on with the migrants beating on the New York City cops? Aesthetic nihilism. That's nihilism right there. Okay. The flooding of the borders. That's nihilism. The drill music where the kids is out here killing each other. That's nihilism. Girls on girls. That's nihilism. Men not wanting to be men anymore. That's nihilism. The fact that you see women augmenting their bodies and whatnot. They're not pleased as to what they were given by the creator. That's nihilism. Okay. All of this is nihilism. Okay. If once, that's what I'm saying. We have to, we're in class tonight. We have a full 2-hour lecture coming up on Thursday, and it's free. Everything that I'll be doing, I'm giving. I'm in a giving mood and whatnot. If y'all feel like reciprocating, then I appreciate that. But I'm not going to stop that from giving. You know what I mean? I know that my heart is clean. So I'm just going to give, and I'm going to give, and I'm not going to anticipate, and I'm damn sure not going to wait. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm going to give from my heart. And the giving that I'm going to give tonight is a lesson, because all of us are parents, right? Even if we're not biological parents, hopefully we have the love and the compassion in our hearts to whereas when we see the children, and when we see these babies, and when we see these, and when we see the future and the youth, we feel some type of quote unquote parental responsibility. If somebody has the mind state of fuck them kids, 9 times out of 10, I don't fuck with them. I don't even know who those people are. I don't relate to that. I can't stand in a room, and I can't call myself being in an alliance or allegiance with somebody who says fuck those kids. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not even warming up to people who belong to communities that are anti-children and whatnot, or anti-birthing of children. I just don't relate to those type of mind states. That's a worldview that I would consider to be a conquered worldview. That's a checkmated worldview. That would be an anti-life, quote unquote, backwards worldview. And to be honest with you, that's from my perspective. I could be wrong, but I could be right too at the same time. You feel me? I could be wrong and right at the same time. And I'm not here to conform anybody to my mind state. I'm just here to teach those who are vibrating on the frequencies that I'm vibrating on, and we match the same mind state. We are on eye level. You know what I'm talking about? I have no desire whatsoever to have conversations or to communicate with anyone who is not on my eye level right now. You know what I'm talking about? No disrespect to anybody. No shots fired. None of that. None of that. It is all love at the end of the day. I don't have room in my heart for any type of hatred. I don't hate anybody who doesn't think like me. I don't hate anybody who doesn't vibrate like I feel sorry for your mama. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't hate you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't have no type of resentment. I could abhor your existence, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We change like caterpillars and butterflies. We change like, shit, like how you see the grass on your lawn right now is going through different seasons and whatnot. Right now, the grass is not growing on my lawn because it's going through a certain season. So we change like those seasons. So where you find a person is not necessarily where that person may wind up later on down the line. So we have to have patience. So I'm having patience with my people, but I don't hate them and I don't love them either. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm tapping in with those who I can relate to and can relate to me, because those are the people who are most effective with this quote unquote information that I'm going to share, because y'all are going to do something with it. The people who I sound like Charlie Brown to, they not going to do nothing with this information. The people who don't appreciate research and they don't appreciate information when it's given to them, then they're gonna treat that like pigs treat pearls and whatnot. They're gonna just walk over that shit and not realize that you have diamonds amongst you. You feel me? You got diamonds amongst you. You got pearls, but motherfuckers will just walk over the pearls in pursuit, right? In pursuit of something way cheaper and of less value, and it's all good. So let us continue. Let's get into the roll call. I want to know who is in the building. Everybody that's on the YouTube, make sure you are a subscriber. I want to say thank you. I looked at the analytics and the channel had a great growth splurt last month, and that's not even, I didn't even promote the channel. We just built the channel up and was like, you know what, we're gonna we're gonna get back on YouTube, because I had to make the conscious decision to return to YouTube. I was in my feelings. I was like, F YouTube, they don't need me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm out of here. And rightfully so, I am out of here. You know, I'm building up streaming platforms. I'm over there on Twitch and on Kick. I'm about to make the transition into streaming. I'm gonna become a streamer, right? But in the meantime, between time, I'm not gonna leave this thing or this apparatus alone, because YouTube needs me. You know, I don't really need YouTube. YouTube needs me. You know what I'm talking about? And my people need me, and they're on YouTube. So we're gonna be here until we decide not to be here anymore. You dig? So that's what we here to do. And we have a lot of things in the works that we're gonna work on. We're gonna be rolling out some very interesting programming. But let's talk about that after the roll call, because we got San Francisco in the building. You know what I mean? Shout out to San Francisco. We got Toronto, T-Dot in the building. You know what I'm talking about? On the IG is lit. You feel me? We got you know what I mean? We got we got London on the track. We got South Jersey. You feel me? We got South Jersey. I'm gonna drop the link right now for the YouTubians out there on the Grammington. Give me 1 minute. Let me get over there. Let me grab the link, and then I'll share that with you. You smell me? All right, we got Cleveland in the building. We got Michigan in the building. We got Harlem in the building. We got Connecticut in the building. We got the DMV in the building. Brooklyn, you already know, Brooklyn in the building. We got the Bronx in the building. You know what I'm talking about? We got Michigan. We got Cleveland. We got Dallas. We got Dade 305. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Shout out to all of y'all. You know what I mean? East Carolina. North Carolina, go more. ATL in the building. Shout out to the ATL, KTL in the ATL, Denver, Colorado. You dig? Is that Mile High City? Denver, Colorado in the building. Shout out to Denver. You feel me? Shout out to everybody in the building. You know what I mean? Shout out to Detroit. The D is deep. You know what I mean? Duval, Florida type shit on Florida time. You know what I'm talking about? Harlem in the building. San Diego in the building. Yeah. All right. I see the numbers on YouTube beefing up. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the program. Make sure you hit the like button. We got Bronx. We got Queens by way of West Palm and Atlanta. Oh, you a truck driver? You moving around in this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? You everywhere. They never there. You know what I mean? White Plains up in this thing. Shout out to White Plains. We see you. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Yonkers. Shout out to White Plains and all that. Spring Valley. We got Lehigh Valley or Lehigh Valley. San Diego up in this biatch. Duval up in this thing. All right, man. So we in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Salute to all of y'all. You dig? Well, you know what I mean? Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to my Detroit family. We will let y'all know about this strong in Detroit, because we were booked to pop up in Detroit, and we'll let you know how that's going by Thursday. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen, because I don't want to be here all night. Everybody got shit that they got to do in life, and I'm included in that in that situation. So we're gonna talk some talk, and then we out. All right, Spring Valley. We got Norfolk in the building. Yeah, shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Sunset Boulevard, Coachella Valley. Talk black to me. Bed-Stuy in this biatch. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You feel me? Seminole, Florida up in the bizzle. What up, Seminole, Florida? Wasn't Seminole, Florida where Trayvon was at? I remember doing the research, and that's the first time I came across. The link ain't linking. The name of the channel is Know the Ledge 44. Let me see some. If the link ain't linking, let's do another link. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay, boom. Boom shakalaka. Here we go. That's better. Boom shakalaka. All right, all right. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing going. I'm gonna have a registration also for the Thursday show that I'm doing. All I need is your email. It's a free 2-hour lecture. All I need is your email. So I'm gonna drop a link for that in both the the link, I believe the link on YouTube is in the description. It's ready, it's in the description. I will drop the link for the IG family. Just give me a second. As soon as I get this keynote pulled up, we'll do that. All right. Yeah, so yes indeed. Peace, peace. The name of the channel. Okay, I answered that question. All right, now we on share screen. Share the screen. Boom, boom. All right, there we go. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let me pull up this channel, make sure that everything is fine. And after this is over at 9 o'clock, make sure y'all go over to Black Magic 363. Blue Pill is gonna be up there talking about the native history of country music, or the black history of country music. He's gonna be laying it down and whatnot. You feel me? So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, like I said, 222, which is on Thursday, 222, which is on Thursday at 8 p.m. I am going to be doing a 2-hour free lecture. Okay. There's a registration for it. It will be a Zoom only class. I'm going to be going very, very deep. There's going to be certain things that I cannot talk about on YouTube. So I'm not even going to play with y'all. You feel me? I'm not even going to play with y'all. I'm going to take that shit right to Zoom so I could talk my shit respectfully. You know what I'm talking about? This is a little, this, I'm going to be talking about them people over there in Tel Aviv, and I'm going to be talking about some other things. But, we're going to have to take that off of these people's network or these platforms in order to have that talk. So on Thursday, 222, join me at 8 o'clock. Free. Don't worry about it. I'll be right there on Zoom giving up a powerful lecture entitled Aesthetic Nihilism, #Vultures. Tonight is the primer. We're going to get into it. Okay, so let's get right into the definition of what nihilism is in case people are unaware of it. Okay, it is the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. The rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. Now, all right, this is an example of them using nihilism in a sentence. They condemn the show for its cynicism and nihilism. Now, similar words or adjective or synonyms would be negativity, cynicism, pessimism, rejection, repudiation, and renunciation. Now, I want people to remember something. 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, when you were in quote unquote the world, or what they call it, prior to you becoming what they call conscious and whatnot, and adapting nihilistic mentality, right? Because it depends on what teacher you was introduced into. If you came through Bobby Hemmett, you're nihilistic. If you was introduced to consciousness through Brother Dawood, you're nihilistic. If you was introduced to consciousness through anybody who took religion away from you and stripped away the quote unquote that order that you had, although it may have been a lie and a program, and they remove religion, and then later on you remove morality, where you went from, you had morals and you had certain values because religion was upholding that. Like, let's just say that you was in the Nation of Islam, or you was in some type of strict religious background, and it was, let's just say that you was a 7-day Adventist, and you wasn't out there as a woman participating in what was called lesbianism or same-sex activities, but this was something that you was curious about, but they was telling you that that was the devil on your shoulder whispering it. So by encountering consciousness, you found yourself slipping down a slippery slope, and then you woke up one day and you was in Nature Boy's house, right, sucking on his toes and whatnot, and getting physically abused by him or one of his cohorts. I'm not shooting at the brother. I'm just using that as an example because it's something that people could relate to. I'm just showing you how you could wake up in nihilism, right? By hopping into a movement or hopping into belief systems that you know nothing of, and you don't have any brakes, and you just go right down a slippery slope, and then boom, you wake up, you living in a forest with leaves covering your body, talking about there's no meaning to life. Guess what? You now are subjected to the philosophy of nihilism, and you probably didn't even know what it was, right? Oh, we're not gonna use fiat anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna live off the land. That's nihilism. Oh, we you know, we not traditionally doing anything. We don't answer to anybody. We just here having a good time. We eating box. We eating Franks and whatnot. We just taking everything to the face. Nihilism. Okay, nihilism. Oh, I don't fuck them kids. I don't want to have these children. I'm just working and whatnot. I'm a woman, and life is not suited to bring a child in this world. Nihilism. Okay, you believe that life is meaningless. Oh, I want to grab my ankles. I'm the last man in my bloodline, but I don't want to procreate because I want to get my prostate tickled. You're a nihilistic bastard. You know what I mean? Because you forsake your whole bloodline for lust and desire, right? And to get your prostate tickled and whatnot. And you didn't give a fuck about sustaining your bloodline. You didn't want to procreate. They said, do what? Come to this planet and do what? Be fruitful and multiply. But you are participating in something called what? Species terminus. You terminated your own species. You fell on your own sword. You ended your bloodline, which stretched billions and maybe millions of years, because you bought into the propaganda of Margaret Thatcher and Gloria Steinem and other Europeans and whatnot, like Friedrich Nietzsche and Edward Bernays and all of these Germans and whatnot, who basically they set this up hundreds of years ago. They set this up many decades, many centuries ago. They put these writings into existence. And like I said before, all reality is an agreed upon group of ideas and concepts. And all war is the challenge of these ideas and the concepts. And he or she who wins the war is the one who gets to implement those ideas and those concepts. And then they erase and they conform all of the ideas and the concepts of the person that they conquered. Okay. So the fact that you can't find yourself is the fact that you've been erased multiple times as a result of losing multiple wars. Okay. So let's go further down the nihilistic rabbit hole. Now, nihilism aesthetic, the nihilistic or the aesthetic nihilism is the aesthetic that one begins to adapt when one is giving the quote unquote signal to the world of where they are as a quote unquote artist. Because keep in mind,
You could say what you want to say about these artists. You could be like, Red, why y'all always talking about these artists? Because, nigga, they're in art and I'm an artist. What are you talking about? Your life is boring. What do you think I'm going to talk about you? I'm an artist. And I don't take artists. I take artists as serious as their art. Nothing more, nothing less. People are getting so caught up and they take this shit personal. I don't. I do not. I'm an artist. So I'm only looking at what these people are doing in their art. How are you portraying your art? I trust artists more than I trust average people who don't even know how to do art. No, I'm in awe of the arts. As an artist, I give it up. I'm not that arrogant to whereas I feel like I'm bigger and better and more important. No, nah. I'm in school. I'm learning. I'm in awe of the arts. I respect the arts. I'm not a disrespectful person. You know what I'm talking about? I encourage Kanye to continue to be an artist and to be artful. Be artful and multiply, right? I encourage the younger artists that come out. What I don't like and what I abhor is these niggas who are in the way who are not artists. You got rappers and whatnot talking about whatever they talking about, but these are not artists. They're not cultured. They don't have no culture, bro. These are not savvy individuals. Don't be fooled. These are just niggas that make words rhyme. Like they say, I'm a trapper portraying a rapper. Those are not artists. When they learn the art, then they begin to transform and then they begin to upgrade their lives. And then they begin to do what? They begin to obey the laws of art. So Kanye West is the greatest artist alive right now, right? And I am a reporter. Don't worry about my personal beliefs, because that's one of the things that I'm going to stop bringing to YouTube and to you niggas that I don't know. My personal beliefs. You should not know what I believe personally. It don't matter. It don't matter. Whatever I believe, it don't make you, what I eat don't make you shit. So stop worrying about what I believe. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know me like that. That to know what I believe is a privilege. You don't need to know what I believe. I'm a reporter though. I'm a connoisseur of the culture. Okay? And my biasness, I have to remove my biasness from how I report, because if my biasness gets in the way, I'm not a good reporter. Fuck what I believe, because to be honest with you, my beliefs are subject to change sometimes and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? My beliefs will impact my reporting, but my experience, the fact that I could speak on certain things because I was in the culture when it was happening. So my point of reference and my experience and my vantage point, that's what makes me a reporter, not my beliefs. Okay? My perception of reality and my worldview, it helps to shape my reporting and what I'm seeing and whatnot. I'm very symbol literate because of my culture, because I've been culturated, but it's not about my beliefs. I'm not ever going to put my beliefs on y'all. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to try my best not to, at least. You feel me? When I'm reporting. When we kicking it, that's a different thing. But when I'm reporting this hip hop and this the culture, nah, it's what it is. So if I don't like him as a person, or if I do like him as a person, you know what I mean? It don't matter. It doesn't take away from the fact that this nigga is an artist. You know what I mean? Not just a rap. He's not a rapper. He's an artist, because hip hop is an art form and rap is not necessarily. Rap is a subculture of a culture. It is a subset of hip hop. Okay? This nigga's an artist. He's not just a hip hop artist. He's just an artist in a sense. So body language is one thing. Aesthetics is another. So there are different eras of Kanye, right? Let's use him as an example. You had the pink polo era, right? The pink polo era was described as the era of when he was dealing with Jesus Walks. through the wire. He's overcoming his adversity. He's on his hero's journey. When we convene on Thursday, I will show you the journey that Kanye has taken and what his hero's journey looks like. I will show it to you through the albums to show you beyond any reasonable doubt that we are watching the procession of the equinox. We are watching this man walk through his hero's journey. I don't care about where he puts his phallus. That's none of my business. I don't care what bed he lays in and who he lays with. That's none of my business. I don't care who he decided to have children with. That's none of my business. That doesn't take away from him as an artist. Okay? That's part of his hero's journey. That's the shit that he got to live with. I don't bear that cross. I'm not wearing that man's cross. Whatever decisions that he made after studying and researching, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I could break it down how it's a part of his hero's journey regardless. You know what I'm talking about? I could break it down how this nigga is the king of the blurs and whatnot. And I could show you why he was with Amber Rose and why he was with Kim Kardashian and the girl that he's with right now. I could break that shit down. You feel me? It started all the way back then with his Playboy addiction, but that's a whole nother story. But he's in a new era right now. To make a long story short, the era of the Jesus walks, and then fast forward to the era of the Sunday service and the era of quote unquote, Jesus loves us and Jesus is king. That was an era that he showed you in his costume and in his dress. He changes eras with his aesthetics. He doesn't make an announcement. He doesn't make a press release. He just shows up in an outlandish outfit that he knows is going to gain attention because he's the master of the attention economy. He's the master of gaining people's quote unquote. He understands that attention is currency. He understands that when you're talking about him, that you're paying attention and whatnot. He understands that all promotion is good promotion, and he's willing to put himself out there as an artist and as a muse to be the motherfucking target of all of you niggas' judgment. But at the same time, while you're throwing rocks, if you throw rocks at me, you got to look at me in order to hit me with that rock. So you're paying attention. Once I got your attention, nigga, I got you because this was already plotted and planned out. We playing chess with you, lower brained niggas out here. You lower tier niggas. He understands that controversy is king. He understands that if he pops out looking regular, you're not going to talk about him. So he's in this new era right here. This is his aesthetic, nihilistic era and whatnot. He has gone back to the dark, twisted fantasy, but he brought along some friends with him on this fantasy. He brought some friends with him on his journey. And those friends that he brought with him are supremely nihilistic in their quote unquote demonstration, or rather their aesthetics. The nihilistic aesthetic has taken over youth culture. By a show of hands from the people in the chat, before we even get into the information, just to see if we know what's going on in our households and around our children right now, how many can tell me right now in the chat, how many can say by pressing 1 that either your child or your nephew or your niece has embraced aesthetic nihilism, meaning they're wearing rock and roll inspired heavy metal, death metal clothing, meaning that they are withdrawn. They don't talk anymore, meaning that they're on the emo shit, meaning that they might have their fingernails painted, meaning that they're wearing baggy clothes. They don't wear tight clothes anymore. They have the homeless look, right? They're wearing baggy shit. You know what I'm talking about? Big clothes and whatnot. And the clothes look like they are quote unquote either, vintage clothes. The clothes look like they are quote unquote torn and destructive clothes and whatnot. And they usually wear all black. So you have this thing in hip hop now where the gothic shit is popping. You got this shit in hip hop right now where the emo thugs are popping. You got this shit in hip hop right now where they are quote unquote, I mean, if they not wearing the fingernail polish, that's not saying that they have to. I'm just saying that our youth they're blending hip hop with heavy metal, death metal culture. It's not just rock and roll anymore. Lil Wayne was rock and roll with the skateboard. That's Wiz Khalifa. That's Lil Wayne. That's early in the game. They have went further down the slope. They are on heavy drugs, right? They went past the slope of where Juice WRLD and them was going. Juice WRLD and NBA Youngboy and the ones that are on the pills and the lean and whatnot, that's one slope. They've went past that slope. Okay, so the youth went past that slope. Nashawn, you in the building. Nashawn is in the building, right? Nashawn is a designer. Me and Nashawn went to the Atlanta Streetwear fashion show. We went to the Atlanta Streetwear market this summer. It's not a fashion show. It was a market. It was inside of what is like an empty Target. The shit was humongous. 85% of the designers, these were all young entrepreneurs, right? And I'm telling you, they was lit. The whole place was packed. Everybody was making money, right? Everybody was making money, but they all had the same aesthetics. And I was on live and I was showing everybody, and I was like, yo, they've adopted a morbid, mortuary, morbid deaf culture. They not only, you know, they living it now, because there's one thing to adopt a culture, because over the past few years, they were walking into it. They're in it now. Okay. They're in it now. They're in a dark place. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you study Panic, if you study Bobby, if you study Azariah, if you study any of our occultists, these are the children of that conversation right here. These are Bobby's children. They in Bobby's living room. Okay. Even if they traveling through this quote unquote dark tunnel and they fucking with the white boys and the rock and roll shit, that's just the beginning of the tunnel. It's always going to wind them up with Uncle Bobby. Let's be clear. It will always wind them up with Uncle Bobby. Okay. So now they on heavy drugs. They on opiates. Henceforth, why Playboy Cardi's movement is called opium and whatnot. He has the biggest movement in hip hop right now that you never heard of. Playboy Cardi got the biggest movement of the youth. He got the youth right now, not Kai Cenat and the fucking streamers. Playboy Cardi got the youth. So the fact that Kanye got canceled, right? Ye got thrown away by light-skinned niggas like Pharrell, right? These light-skinned ass moist niggas, the Zest Fest niggas abandoned him. Kid Cudi, Pharrell, right? They went against they mans in them, right? To do what? To be favored by these white folk, right? The same people he was trying to tell y'all about, they threw him away and they went over there and sucked the toes. And they sat on the lap of Balenciaga, of the Germans, and of the Zionists, right? And who stayed with him? The dark niggas, the misfits, the rejects, the niggas that embrace the dark side, right? Playboy Cardi, Ty Dolla $ign, right? The dark niggas, right? All of them, all of the misfits, Little Durk, Bump J, right? These are all of the dark niggas. These are the vultures, okay? So he's in his vultures era, but he is a genius because he came in the right era, because he's coming on top of the opium era or the opium movement with the vulture era, which is basically almost the same thing, aesthetic-wise, right? They're embracing a form of nihilism that's not necessarily conforming to no German thought and whatnot. They're embracing a new form of nihilism that actually can work for us. Okay? Because it's anti-establishment. They're not fucking around. It's anti-establishment. It's, it's outside. They're drawing outside of the line. right? But let us go a little bit further and continue. Nihilism. Any aim is lacking. Any answer to the question why is lacking. What does nihilism mean? That the supreme values devaluate themselves, right? So this is Friedrich Nietzsche or Nietzsche. This is their master teacher. This is to Germans what Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett is to the conscious community. All of them have master teachers. They are all following the writings and the teachings of somebody greater than them. Do not fall victim to the fact that you don't know who these people follow. They follow Crowley. They follow Friedrich Nietzsche. They follow a lot of their master teachers who put down their writings 100 years ago. So the same way that you have man worship in the conscious community, where all of these organizations are worshiping this phallic worship, it is a patriarchal worship system. These niggas worship men. They are zealots for men in this community. The way that they treat the Farad Muhammads, the way that they treat the Elijah Muhammads, the way that they treat the Dr. Z Yorks and all of them. These are men worshiping men, okay? So the European has the same thing going on in his community. Nothing has changed. It's the same thing. They are zealots for their master teachers, okay? They're zealots for their master teachers, right? So this vultures movement, okay, is very interesting because it's Ye in his I don't give a fuck era. It's Ye in his fuck you era. It's Ye in his y'all threw me away. So now I'm on my nihilism shit and I'm throwing everything away. I'm throwing everything at the wall right now, and I don't give a fuck who I offend, right? That's a form of freedom, though. That's a form of letting go. That's a form of you can't hold me. I'm not going to allow your bullying. I'm not going to allow your canceling. I'm not going to allow your quote unquote fake ass society to dictate my peace of mind and how I could be an artist and what the fuck I could create. No, I'm going to go against the norm and I'm going to body you niggas with the art. Right? Because when everything else fails, you got to go back to the art, because art rules everything around me. You know what I'm talking about? Art rules everything around me. He showed you. You could fuck around with the person, but you're not stronger than the art. You can't fuck with the art. You could beat down the person because remember, the character, he had to change the character. He had to reinvent the character. So once the character dies and whatnot, you just jump into a new character and then you come back and you bite these niggas. You don't allow anybody to destroy you because you're too multifaceted. You too talented. You too gifted. You got too much to offer. So he changed clothes and he switched into another channel of himself. And then he began to come from a dark place, right? And because he's in a dark world and he exposed the darkest of the darkest entities out here, right? Like Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you stare into the abyss long enough, then you're going to become dark yourself. You're going to fall into the abyss. So he said, yo, I went down a rabbit hole exposing these people. I got sick. I almost went bankrupt. How many people do you know like that out there? How many people do you know walked into consciousness with good intentions and whatnot, and they went down a rabbit hole and got stuck in that hole and whatnot? They stared into the abyss too long. They stared into the abyss too long and we lost them and whatnot. I know a whole bunch of them. So here it is. My nigga's on his run, right? So he popped out. Ye popped out with an album right around Super Bowl time. He was going up against Usher, who did it. He had all of the bells going for him. He had everything going for him. Usher Raymond. He had a new album dropping. He just married a woman who looked like his nanny, right? Shout out to her. He basically had the Super Bowl performance, right? And basically, did what he did with Alicia Keys, and that made wild headlines. And then on the other side, this nigga Beyonce came out with a motherfucking Texas album where she is dressing naked and got other black women showing ass and tits to rednecks, because that's all that is. Let me pull the camera up to share something with y'all, because I see people applauding, and Blue Pill is about to go live and talk about the history of Texas and black music and all of that. And that shit cute. But who is gonna be watching these Texas TikToks where these half-dressed women is shaking ass and tits to country music? Because I'm not watching no country music TikToks. I'm not into shit like that. Who is it? Redneck men. Coincidentally, moving into the age of Trump, right? Our women are now subtly saying they're available to rednecks. This is part of the divestment movement right here, to shake ass and tits on a country network, right? Because y'all not doing it for us. And Beyonce, she got the blonde shit going on. Let's pull Beyonce up, right? Last year, she was on Renaissance tour, right? She was on a Renaissance tour, and prior to that, Black is King and all of that shit, right? But the minute that she want to go back to her roots, this bitch start bleaching and whatnot and coming out looking like a fucking, she looking like a Barbie doll. What the fuck is this? This ain't Black is King, nigga. This is not Renaissance Beyonce, bro. Who the fuck is that? So she did the country music shit before and they stunning on her, right? She's chasing, why would you do country music when Taylor Swift is washing up all of y'all in R&B and you running the country? She left country music to go pop off and you leaving pop so Taylor Swift could take it? You shaking ass for the white boys. That's really what's taking place in a minute. You got all of our women just really objectifying themselves to country music? Really? Like, that's what's up? That's what the game was missing? We needed more country music, right? So coincidentally, around the same time that Pharrell drops the country-inspired Louis Vuitton line, so they're about to have a fucking field day, right? If there's some history attached to it, I would appreciate that. If she attaches some history and educates our brothers and sisters about, you know, John Horse and, you know, our whole thing about where we was, you know what I mean? In country and everything. That's cute and everything. But I don't really need the fucking history lesson at this point. You know what I mean? But that's moving into the Trump territory to basically, you know, it's a way of, you know what I mean? You're going to see videos of our sisters twerking on these rednecks inside a Cracker Barrel type shit. You know what I mean? That's what's coming in about a year or two. Because like I said, once Trump takes over, what are black women going to do, right? When Trump takes over, what's going to happen with black women who, you know, they still want to be chosen. They still want to be, you know, they about that attention right now. They about that retention. So when they try to stop his ass, a hater try to say, oh, Beyonce just dropped. Let's make it number one. And let's, you know, this is the same person who stood up for Beyonce. This is the same person who sacrificed his career for Beyonce, for who? Coincidentally, Taylor Swift. When she was on a come up. And then they did that whole ritual where Beyonce had to put on the same color dress as her and then gave that bitch her award and whatnot. And she been going brazy ever since. She stole Beyonce's energy. She snatched her crown on that stage that day when Kanye had to intercede and say, I see the ritual, I ain't with it. But they went ahead and did the ritual anyway. And there's all kind of talk about them all being high level witches. She's a Salem witch, this one right here. And I ain't talking brouhaha and whatnot. She got your mother, she got mad women and mad children and now mad men underneath some type of spell. There's even talk of her being Anton LaVey's daughter, doppelganger. And I'm going to show you that in a minute as well. So basically, he shot a tweet back and he was shitting on them. He says, when I said that I'm the new Jesus, bitch, I wasn't even thinking about Taylor Swift. That was a whole line before, but I appreciate the free promo. Lil Wayne actually mentioned Travis Kelce on Vultures too. This album is actually super positive and fun. It's all about triumphant. Last year was incredibly challenging for me, my wife, my children, friends, and family. I've been banned from hotels, kicked out of companies, and even not allowed to eat in some restaurants. Everyone saw Vultures 1 get taken off of platforms to limit our first week numbers. This reminds me of the mistreatment of my people because of the color of our skin. Remember, I was on Taylor's side when Scooter bought her masters behind her back. Also, I'm sure I've been far more helpful to Taylor Swift's career than harmful. Facts. I didn't know who the fuck she was until he said her name. He put her on. Okay, he didn't hurt her by going on the stage. He made all of you moist niggas go and listen to her and go to her concerts. To all of my Taylor Swift fans, I am not your enemy and I'm not your friend either, though. Also, I didn't get kicked out of the Super Bowl. We left our seats to go to YG's box and see different friends. My wife had never been to a Super Bowl, so I wanted to walk around and have a nice time. Had such a fun day. Oh, and to Shaq, I grew up looking up to you. I would love to hang out with you, Blase Bloom, right? So with all of the shit that they try to do to him, with all of the blocking that they try to do to him, with everything that they try to do to this man, with Beyonce dropping, with fucking Usher dropping, with all kind of shit on the billboard, my nigga went number one. Okay, Ty Dolla $ign's first number one. This is his 11th number one. He put his motherfucking numbers up. The MVP of the album, hands down, Playboy Cardi. You know what I'm talking about? Playboy Cardi is the MVP of the album. You know what I mean? He's the one with the wave. Not even Travis Scott. He got the biggest wave right now in the game. And y'all know, Uncle Red always comes and tells you shit that you don't know and whatnot. But believe me when I tell you that. I'm not making it up. And I'm not talking about trap rappers. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the overall youth culture. They're on some shit that you're not on. They're on some shit that you don't understand. They on some they into these artists. They don't care that the nigga's androgynous. They don't care that he's embracing Satanism. They don't care that they're into aesthetic nihilism right now. The more that they're leaning into shit like that, the more lit they become. The more they're leaning into this quote unquote nihilistic, we don't give a fuck humanity. The more they move into that, the more they lit. That's the more popular they're becoming in this art form right here, right? You're gonna look at it through your Christian eyes and whatnot. You're gonna look at it through your judgmental eyes. You're gonna look at it through, through glaucoma eyes. You're gonna look at it through some fucking rose-colored bifocals. And all I'm saying is, that's cool, you know what I mean? That's cool. But I'm looking at it through another lens. I'm looking at it through another lens. I see it through a whole nother peephole and whatnot. You got to look at it through the eyes of the youth. If you're not the youth, you have to place yourself in the mind of the youth, because who the fuck cares what you say? Doesn't matter. It's youth culture. I used to be the youth. I didn't give a fuck what the adults had to say. I could give three. I believe me when I tell you, you have no idea how crazy my rebellion was. You understand? My rebellion was something for the record books. My shit was off the chain. The way that I rebelled, I ain't see, you know what I mean? Like, I went fully off the edge, bro. So there was nothing that Dr. Sabi could tell me. I told him about himself a few times. There was nothing my mama could tell me. There was nothing to know. The only person that could tell me something was the drill instructors in the motherfucking correctional, and they still couldn't tell me nothing. I was off the chain. A.A. Rashid was off the chain. Blue Pill was off the chain. Like, we all was off the chain. So how the hell, because I know what it feels like to be 17 and living on your own and not giving a fuck. I was gravitating. I was flirting with death. I was tongue kissing that bitch religiously. I did not want to be safe. I didn't want to be saved. I didn't want none. I didn't want to be around no old people, bro. We was robbing old people. We was running down on old folk. We didn't give no respect to them. I had to stop doing shit like that because I didn't want nobody to do that to my dad. Because my hood was active at some point, and niggas was telling me, yeah, we seen your father coming home from work last night. That's the nigga with the afro. And this was the robbers that these was the vultures that said that. So it made me say, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck around and have my karma fall on my dad, because the sins of the son fall on their father. You know? But we was off the chain, bro. So I'm not saying these children running out of these stores and these children carjacking shit and these little niggas just spinning and drilling and whatnot. I'm not co-signing nothing. I'm saying that that's some real, that shit got to change. We got to step in and we got to give them some options, and we have to meet them where they're at, and we got to speak their language. We're going to have to propagandize these niggas to change. You know what I mean? But understand that that is their version of rites of passage. And obviously they're preparing for a war, a big war. The shit that you could just look at their rites of passage and know that it's preparing them for a conflict of grand proportions coming up, because they're not pussyfooting. They're getting to it. They're living out child soldier lives right in the middle of killing fields in the hoods right now, right? So with all of that hoopla, y'all still running. Look, Jack Harlow was number one. You know what I'm talking about? With all of everybody fighting and whatnot, they let the white boy go ahead and be number one. While people was hating on each other, they let the white boy move ahead. That's how that shit always happened. He's one of the biggest industry plants in this game right now, right? So he dropped his album. They try to block him. They try to take it off. His shit went number one. He's with the Vultures. He's on his Jason Voorhees shit, right? The new anonymity, you're going to see a lot of artists wearing masks. Don't get upset with it. Don't try to judge it. The new famous is the infamous mask, right? Because we don't live in a day and age. Everybody's famous. Everybody's famous. We don't live in a day and age where it was a few famous people. All you niggas is famous. Everybody's lit. So the new famous is to cover your face. That's the new shit. That's why you see a lot of artists getting into their art bag and they're coming outside with masks on, and they're coming outside with face covers on, and they're coming outside MF Doom style, super villain style. So it's not about, it's like, who's underneath that mask? You don't need to know. The artist, the persona, you're going to get caught up in, if I got dimples, you're going to get caught up in, oh, he's too fat in his face. Oh, you're going to get caught up in, I don't like the way his eyes look. Dumb shit. Why don't you just focus on the art, you weirdo, and just watch me, nigga. Watch my body language. You know what I'm talking about? People are so consumed on other people that now it's time to don the mask. And we all wearing a fucking mask anyway. And I'm not talking about N95. Everybody comes outside their house with a mask on. Aesthetic nihilism. Everybody's pretentious and they're putting on a show. Right? And they just don't admit it and whatnot. Even your government, what they call your government, that's a fucking character. Whoever your government is, Bartholomew Williams and whatnot, that nigga's a character. That's not you. You think it is. That's your ego and whatnot. That's not you. And then you got niggas named Bartholomew. When they around the homies and whatnot, he's Killer B. So Killer B is not Bartholomew, because Bartholomew's grandmother says Bartholomew used to suck his finger up until when he was 13 and whatnot. And the nigga was wearing diapers to 8. So Bartholomew to his grandmama is not Killer B. You understand? So in order for Bartholomew to get out of the quote unquote restrictions or the limitations of what the fuck Killer B was doing, he had to become in order for Bartholomew to get out of the limitations, because he know around his grandmother there was a ceiling on Bartholomew. He couldn't be Dirk Diggler around his grandmama because she knew that Bartholomew was wearing diapers and he was breastfeeding until he was 8. So there's flaws in Bartholomew. So Bartholomew had to become Killer B to raise the ceiling up. But the minute that his mama called Bartholomew's name, Killer B ceases to exist, and you switch right into Bartholomew mode. Yes, Granny. Boy, get your ass over here and pull your pants up. You wearing them same diapers you used to wear. You looking like you pooped in your pants. Pull them up, boy. Okay, Gran, stop embarrassing me. I'm a killer. Okay, Friedrich Nietzsche talks about this. Edward Bernays talks about this. Carl Jung talks about this. All of the psychologists of Western philosophy that they indoctrinated all of the college students and the high school students and definitely the Ivy League students. They indoctrinated you into Western philosophy by introducing you to their master teachers. And they all speak on this. Even over there in the quote unquote Eastern philosophy, they speak on the mask and whatnot. Joseph Campbell has a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and he speaks on this. Okay, so we're all on a fucking stage and we're all characters. We don't even exist on this planet. Get over yourself, bro. You're not even real. You're a projection. You're a fucking dream. Real talk. We're in a dream state. This is not real. If you take heavy enough drugs or medicines for that matter, you know, the Christian niggas call it drugs. If you take heavy medicine, you will break the motherfucking spell and you will see what this shit really is. And it's not what you think it is. Okay? It's not what you think it is. None of this shit is really real. So while you're here, why not have fun? I guess I'm nihilistic in my thoughts either. You know what I mean? I guess I'm very nihilistic in my thoughts because I know that this is not real. I know that this is not the reality. I know that this is a simulation. I know that this is not what you think it is. I died and came back and seen this shit for what it was. I had an ego death, not a real death. I had the ego death. And that was enough. That was enough to make sense of what I thought the reality was. And it's not what you think it is. Why they never sent the camera up into the sky? I mean, I be thinking about shit like that when I'm smoking some of this red pill strain. Why they never just had a camera just go straight up and just let us see it go into upper space? I be asking questions like that. I'm not a flat earther. I'm just a this shit is it's a simulation from OpenAI or somebody. Like, I don't even know about the flat earth, but I do know that this is a simulation. This is all theater. And once again, it's a test. You all will be graded the day that you stop taking the test. That's the day that you stop breathing. You will be graded the same way that you get graded on an SAT. You will be graded the same way that you get graded when they say the time is up, put the pencil down. Your time is up, your test is over when your shit gets pushed back, right? Whether you died in your sleep, whether a nigga rock your snot box, whatever the case is, the minute that happens, you get handed your paper to say, did you pass the test or do your ass got to take this class again? That's the only thing that this is right here. So I don't know what to tell you on how to pass your test. I'm not here for that to tell you, and I can't tell you that right now. That's a long conversation. But nigga, this is a fucking test. That's the only thing this is. It's a pop quiz. It's a pop quiz. And you all are going to get graded. If you commit suicide, you automatically disqualify and come right back. You can't skip the line. You can't cheat on the test like that. You can't cheat on it. You got to thug it out. Okay? You got to thug it out. So he went #1 in all of these countries. Of course, you know, shit going crazy. What is nihilism? Nihilism is a philosophical and ethical stance which holds that nothing in the world has any meaning, value, or purpose. Followers of this philosophy hold that life should be lived making no moral or spiritual value judgments. Moral value disappears with the death of God, right? So he's the one that coined the phrase that God is dead. That's Nietzsche. And you saw it pop up in the comic books and you see it in popular culture and whatnot, but he's the one who started that out. God is dead. Okay. So for the Germans and for the Europeans and for the adherents, when they say God is dead and they don't deal with morals and they don't deal with judgment, it doesn't make you wonder why they're able to carry out some of the heinous acts that they're carrying out. It makes you wonder why they're able to kill children, women, and elderly without even batting an eye. Why they're able to destroy the planet and whatnot, and they're not thinking twice about it because they're like, it's not even this shit. It replenishes itself. It's not real. It's an illusion. You know, nature replenishes itself. So we're going to basically create a dead zone in the fucking ocean by taking all of the crabs out of it so we could consume it and eat it and whatnot. It is what's caused crash consumerism. It has caused man to be quote unquote non-compassionate. It has resulted in people removing themselves from what Africans and what ancient African traditional systems and also Eastern philosophy connected us and say that we are all one. This European German mentality, this Western, is called Western philosophy. Western philosophy. So when they say that the West is falling, what they mean is the philosophy of the Western man is falling all around the world, because the people that are running with bricks, they don't adhere to aesthetic. They don't adhere to nihilism. Islam is not adhering to nihilism. All of the people that are converting around the world to Islam, they're not fucking with nihilism. They're like Allah is giving all of they're like Allah is giving us all of the morals, all of the value, and the meaning of life. They're finding it in the Quran. But when you got these atheists and you got these Satanists and you got the Luciferians and you got the Zionists and all of them, they are tapped into nihilism. That's what's powering them. And they've infiltrated popular culture because they control it. So they've infiltrated the culture and they've interjected these quote unquote nihilistic mentalities, or this way of seeing things, these quote unquote ideas and concepts into the very minds of powerful entertainers who have influence over millions and billions of people. Nihilists believe that heroes such as Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi are deluded. There is no point in self-sacrifice because we will all die and disappear completely. I'm going to show you how Charleston White is the ultimate nihilist and why he's winning right now, because hip hop is the ultimate culture that has adopted nihilism. Okay? It has become nihilism in every single aspect of the word, right? Henceforth, why I said years ago, we coined the phrase, me and Professor Griff, that hip hop is deaf culture, right? Deaf culture translation is nihilistic. That's nihilism. Okay, that's nihilism. That's why these children are so morbid and they will kill you and go fucking eat some Waffle House and leave you with holes in your body and won't blink an eye. That's why they could look at dead bodies and it won't faze them. That's why they could watch something die and it won't faze them. That's why they're watching the Dahmer shit and made it go crazy, because they're into all of that's why true crime is the #1 fucking genre in podcasts, because people are into nihilism in America. They are attracted to morbidness. They are attracted to death. They are attracted to destruction. They are attracted to the base, the lower chakra, red chakra activity. Red chakra activity, sacral chakra activity. That's where they're stuck, right? And ignorance is bliss. Some people are comfortable there. Okay. The term derives from Latin nihil, meaning nothing. A key characteristic of nihilism is a belief that all values are baseless, not just untenable hypotheses about reality, but false ideas that cannot correspond with reality at all, or which contradict each other. The implications of the doctrine rely on a philosophical classification of values into worthless, empty, and non-existence, according to which there are no productive, intrinsic, irreducible values in the universe. The aim is to diminish the distinction between good and evil by denying that they have a genuine existence in reality. It is a denial of objective moral values to counter people's moral judgments. The assertion that all value is subjective or relative therefore implies that some value is more important than others and provides it with an objective basis. Alternatively, non-existence may be taken as synonymous with transcendence, such as God, and vice versa. So you see that they play these mind games. You know what I'm talking about? It's mental kung fu, right? They're running circles around you, and you don't know what's real, and you don't even know what to think at the end of the day. But there's one thing that I know, and there's was one thing for sure and two things for certain. These artists have indoctrinated your children, right? Not to say that they're the ones responsible, because they represent the Aquarian age. They represent a certain type of archetype. They represent a certain type of archetype. They represent a certain type of mind state in this modern day time that you can't blame the artist on it. The artist is a byproduct of their environment. The artist is a byproduct of the culture. The artist is a byproduct of what the fuck the other generation that came before it did do and did not do. You niggas did not teach the youth the way that they needed to be taught. So you got to sit back and take what the fuck they're going to give you. And they're giving you everything that you niggas are allergic to. Okay. But it is beautiful to watch because you deserve this shit. You bird ass niggas. You, the older generation, deserves everything that they're getting and whatnot, because they shitted on the youth and whatnot. Okay. They shitted on the youth, and they use the youth as their crash test dummies and whatnot. And they traumatized the youth, and they did not build anything for the youth. And they took advantage of the youth, and they tried to, quote unquote, you know, on some Bambada shit. They tried to take advantage of the youth, and they try to traumatize the youth. And that's all hip hop is. It is a pimp hoe relationship where the older niggas are pimping the younger niggas. Yes, they abandoned them. They became just like the people that they despised the most because they got taken advantage of. What did they do? They took advantage of the youth and whatnot. So I don't respect some of the older generation because they deserve everything that they getting right now, because these niggas are not real. They're not real with the youth. They still not teaching them the right thing. They still not there for them. They still not building for them. They still trying to be the man. You got these people that they won't sit down. They won't sit down and let the youth do what they need to do. They in the way. They won't become management and let these niggas become the talent. They still want to be the talent. So there's a war of the generations and whatnot. So the youth are embracing everything counterculture to what they see their parents on, everything that they see the old heads on, right? They're embracing everything counter opposite of that, because remember, this is counterculture, right? Counterculture means I'm purposely not trying to look like you. Counterculture means I'm purposely not trying to be like you. You're uncool. You old niggas are not cool. They use Joe Budden as the archetype of the old niggas. They don't want to be nothing like you niggas, right? No disrespect, but they don't want to be confused with you niggas. So they won't dress like you. When you trying to look like them, that's a super L. They're not trying to look like you, right? So this Playboy Cardi, you know, he's on his shit, you know what I'm talking about? And he spawned a movement called the opium movement. So the cross that you see Ice Spice wearing at the Taylor Swift booth at the Super Bowl, that's a cross that they gifted her, right? Ice Spice and Playboy Cardi, I don't know if they're an item or whatever, but he gifted her an Ice style cross, and he put her down with his movement called the opium movement. And the opium movement has an aesthetic to it, right? And it's not just Playboy Cardi. They got millions of white boys and black kids all around the world following their aesthetics, right? So when you see these kids wearing all black, and it's like all black leather, but the outfit is $5,000, right? It's not like they wearing the fucking Gap clothes. These niggas is wearing Balenci. You feel me? They wearing Rick Owens. They wearing some Louis. They wearing some Bottega. So they got designer on. Very expensive shit from Paris, from France, from Italy and other places. They got the chrome hearts, right? So there's an aesthetics that they're following and whatnot. And I'm just showing you these aesthetics so we can understand more fully as to the culture that we may seem as alien, and then we start judging it and we start hating it because you hate what you don't understand, right? But you might not realize that your children are crying out, but you not realize that your children are crying out, but you might not realize that they need some attention, but you might not realize that they're going through what they're going through in their youthful culture. They're embracing this whole emo type of gothic type of, emotionalist type of thing, right? It's a result of their programming. It's a result of their 0 to 7 upbringing. You should have been more concerned when they was fucking 0 years old. It's too late at this point. They're indoctrinated. They're in the fish tank along with you with dirty water. Okay? You got indoctrinated. They said, I need a roughneck. I need a roughneck. Now your ass is out here. You a good girl. You running behind roughnecks. Now you got 8 kids and the roughnecks are gone. You know what I'm talking about? The roughnecks, they done roughed your ass up, and now you go on podcasts talking crazy. You might even have, tapped out and whatnot. You don't even got, you know what I mean? You ain't even attracted to men no more because you got indoctrinated when you was a youth to go against your parents, to go against your grandparents, to go against the warnings of the day. Stay away from these niggas. They're dark niggas. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing to offer but a bunch of problems. People didn't listen. You had all of these square niggas who were not drug dealers. They were not built for the streets. They were not built for none of that life. What did they do? They jumped off the porch and got their heads pushed back. They jumped off the porch and got their shit chopped off. They jumped off the porch and got put in graves. They jumped off the porch and got put in cells. They jumped off the porch and got locked up, knocked out, robbed, stabbed, beat up, stomped out, all of these things because they went in the wrong direction. The movie Adjustment Bureau showed you. They was listening to some rap music late at night, smoking weed, and they decided that they wanted to be a thug like Tupac, not realizing Tupac was a fucking ballerina and a thespian, and he was playing a role. He was just playing a role. And these niggas were not built for that role. So when the women said they wanted a roughneck, men conform to what the women are asking for, not the other way around. So when the women started running behind the dope sellers and the roughneck niggas and the gangsters, you had square niggas who couldn't get no box. They couldn't get no play. They were not chosen. Remember, women choose the man, right? We the hunters, but niggas be getting chose. So when you get chose by a top tier woman who's high on the food chain and whatnot, that makes you feel like, you know what? I'm doing something right. And other people who see that, they be like, okay, I'm going to do what this nigga's doing because he out here with top tier trim, right? So Kanye West is a perfect example of how that happened. He stepped out with Amber Rose, right? Amber Rose was a bald-headed stripper out of Philadelphia with big tits and ass and whatnot. Nobody never seen her before. But the fact that she was a video vixen on the arm of a blurred, right? A nerd who video vixens wasn't choosing up on the nerds back in those days. What did that wind up doing? That wound up making Wiz Khalifa and all of these other niggas look like that they was food. Tiger, all of these nerdy, weird, zesty, kind of borderline zesty type of, they were the opposite archetype of the roughneck. They were the opposite archetype of the thug. They were the opposite archetype of the gangster niggas. That's who the top tier women was running to. When Jay-Z got with Beyonce, that nigga was wearing bandanas and baggy jeans and whatnot. He was selling crack still. He was still selling. That was Jay-Z looking like Joe Camel with the fucking jersey and the goddamn chain on, the Rockaway chain with the do-rag. He was a thug. He was a gangster. He was a vagabond. That's what the woman was into. But when Kanye beat 50 Cent in that 9/11 challenge in 2007, and he was able to get and then they started choosing up on him, that helped square niggas get chose up by women that never would have blinked at them before. It was a domino effect. All of the square, weird, nerdy, their skin started becoming a little bit clearer. They started gaining more confidence. They started walking around with their heads up. They were more cocksure about themselves. They started getting body tats. Niggas started embracing, they started getting on a Dirk Diggler because the quality of cut, the quality of women, the quality, remember, and I'm going to have a segment called Cali-fornication, right? Cali-fornication, K-A-L-I, Cali-fornication, right? What does that mean? That means that at the top of the pyramid in the culture, let me let you niggas see my face. The top of the pyramid in the culture, right? At the top of the pyramid, not in your hood, not on your block, not where you live. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the culture of hip hop, the pinnacle of not just hip hop, but remember, hip hop is a culture and the culture is entertainment. People would say that it's New York. It's not New York, it's California. That's their Castle Grayskull. That's their capstone of the pyramid of all entertainment. It was built by gangsters and mobsters. Okay? Don't get it fucked up. New York is where they cash the checks and everything, but the pinnacle of the entertainment empire is Cali, K-I-L-I. So the Cali-fornication, meaning that all of the artists have to pass through Cali, and the women on top of the Cali totem pole are sex workers, prostitutes, women with augmented bodies, what they call these women are the Kim Kardashian types, right? Racially ambiguous, like Cat Williams pointed out when he showed you all of the women that these comedians marry and whatnot. That's the Cali-fornication circle right there. There's a pyramid in the culture. Y'all might not know it because you're not in the culture. You out there chasing shorty with the 3 necks and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? With the EBT card. You don't got no horse in that race. You don't understand what that shit is about. So when he went, when Ye upgraded from Amber Rose, who at the end of the day, there's levels to this shit. So he leveled up square niggas to get chosen by video vixens, strippers, and women of the nightlife, right? When he got with Kim Kardashian, he vicariously leveled up all of the square niggas in California to get chosen by supermodels, the top porn chicks, and like the Kim Kardashians and whatnot. That's you got to understand how he even says it in the song where he talks about big booty bitches don't fall out of the sky, right? He talks about he's the father. He was like, I got you niggas cool. I'm the nigga who got you these big booty. They just don't fall out the sky. Give me my props. I made you niggas cool. The Lupes, the Kid Cudis, the Pharrells, every single rap nerd who was out here acting like these niggas got motion. They even Drake, Aubrey, all of them got their sauce from, they got to give it up to the homie. Ty Dolla Signs. These, because remember, Playboy Cardi's a nerd. He was in an honors class and whatnot. Lil Wayne is a nerd. You know what I'm talking about? So he's his sexual proclivities. You got to remember, what's the number one thing that a nerd is into, right? Remember Weird Science? You think nerds are just about playing with computers? No, they like to play with pretty women because that's what's denied to them. They want what they can't have. They want what they can't have. So we live in a world now where it's revenge of the nerds, where Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, they like a plate for the top tier chicks or what they call high value women who would never bat an eye at Mark Zuckerberg. That's little dick energy, right? They're looking at them now like, nah, that's high value and that's a way out. That's an option. These are options now. They were never an option before. So we living in a world of Revenge of the Nerds, and the king nerd is Kanye West. He's the king of the nerds. Okay? He's unashamed. That's why he could talk greasy to Elon and all of them, because he's like, y'all can't talk to me, bro. I'm the king of this shit. ASAP Rocky, nobody can talk crazy to him, because they all got to kiss the ring, because he made their lives a lot more easier just with his movements. Okay, he helped Travis Scott get Kylie Jenner. If there would be no Kylie and Travis if there was no Ye and Kim. So people are going to interject race and everything, and like I said, I'm reporting the news. I'm not interjecting my personal. I can't give you Dr. Umar right now, because that's not how the game works. That's not how the industry works. Your proclivities, your preferences, and the fact that you grew up with these type of people around you, that don't got nothing to do with these fucking musicians. So stop it. Don't even waste my time. Anyway, so this is some hype beast shit. You know, this is what they on, wearing all black, going crazy on the accessories, having good proportions, looking questionable. So the whole looking questionable thing, right? That's their shit. That's how they troll you old people. Looking they looking homeless. These niggas is looking homeless. But they're like, you know, this is some shit from the thrift shop. This is something that I found in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? That's the new fashion. You know what I mean? So Kodak Black and Machine Gun Kelly is the same thing in the nihilistic perspective. They're the same person. Thank you for the cash apps. I see them coming through. I appreciate that y'all appreciate my research and whatnot. And, you know, y'all showing that love. Kodak Black is a nihilistic. He's one of the top nihilistic characters in this nihilistic aesthetic and whatnot. But he's the nihilistic for the niggas in Polk County. He's the nihilism for the niggas wearing wicks and being doped up and whatnot, and on Xannies, on you know, they be high on live and whatnot, sipping on lean, being damn near zombies and whatnot. That's aesthetic nihilism. Okay, this nigga got his whole body tatted black and whatnot. Venom, that's aesthetic nihilism and whatnot. Drill music, a nihilistic genre filled with boasts of death and violence, right? The cover page of Metropolitan's police database offers a beginner guide to drill music, a brand of rap at the heart of a debate over where a line could be drawn between artistic expression among Britain's disadvantaged youth and the incitement and glorification of violence. Such is the concern over the language and topics in the music that the drill scene appears to be the sole focus of the two dedicated analysts working on Operation Domain, emphasizing concerns that the subgenre has evolved into what? A symbiotic relationship with crime. What attracts hip-hop to horror? It makes sense that the worlds of hip-hop and horror should collide so often. Rap, much like horror movies, is a genre often comprised of amped-up entertainment and larger-than-life personas. But it goes deeper than that, too. Hip-hop is historically a genre born out of hardship, and the violence and sufferings abound, and horror often provides a perfect analogy and catharsis for real-life turmoil and trauma. It's little surprise that morbid iconography and themes of death and decay have informed the music and lyrics of many. When Uzi Vert sings All My Friends Are Dead on EXO Tour Life 3, it perhaps has more in common with the introspection of 80s indie goth icons such as Bauhaus and The Cure, right? I know I pronounced that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Than it does with the shock horrors of the likes of ICP. Instead, is representative of a new generation using morbid themes to explore real-life horrors, right? Yeah, somebody said Bane and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Coincidentally, the young boy, Destroy Lonely, he went viral, right, with Bane, right? Destroy Lonely is down with Opium, Playboy Cardi's creative. It's a creative agency. It's not a record label only. It's a creative agency. So they have in-house production. They have in-house producers, in-house videographers, in-house fashion. They're creating a look, they're creating a sound, they're curating the culture. So people could say what they want to say, and they could be judgmental and throw the rocks at it, but he's doing what artists are supposed to do. Curation. Why don't you come and do your version of curation so you don't have to worry about your children and your loved ones being indoctrinated into this deaf culture? You have to come with something that's more powerful. You have to come with something that's more sticky. You have to come with something that's more magnetic. You can't, if the more you hate on the sidelines, the bigger it becomes. If you think hating is gonna stop movements, my nigga, you're in the fucking wrong game. You're on the wrong team. You can't play on my team. You're gonna get benched like Cassinet at the motherfucking All-Star game. You can't put no points up like that. There's nothing that ever changed in this community from you niggas hating on it. Not one thing. Everything got bigger that you hated on. Okay? If you don't realize that consciousness, you collapse the wave when you pay attention to it. So anything that you focus on, anything that you pay attention to grows. So right now, instead of hating on this shit and putting that hate energy on it, all I'm doing is I'm observing and I'm reporting on it. You know what I mean? So it won't grow off of that. It could actually diminish because it's being, quote unquote, the wound is being exposed. I'm explaining what is running underneath the engine. People are not going underneath the engine. They don't have the they're too biased and whatnot. They're not exploring the psychology of what our youth are going through. You cannot throw the youth away, because after they go through this dark period, what are they going to become after that? That's the $1 million question. It's not about necessarily what they're going through now. It's about what are they going to become as a result of what they're going through. What they're going to become as a result of what they're going through is going to be polished diamonds. Okay, they're going to come out on the other side of whatever tunnel they're in right now as polished diamonds. Okay, I got case studies. I already have people that I could show and be like, look at what this person has become. So we are going to help steer them through this darkness so they don't have to go through this shit on their own and be lost and whatnot. I would rather steer them through the darkness than to throw rocks at them whilst they're in the darkness. They're in their caterpillar phase. They're in their quote unquote catalyst phase. They're in their cocoon phase. You got to let them be great. How the fuck can I bang on an 18-year-old? How, Sway? You couldn't bang on me when I was 18. You couldn't hold me accountable for what I was doing. I was lost. And there was no herb in the world that could take that. There was no sea moss. There was no fucking herb that grew out of the ground that could stop me from being lost when I was lost. Once that train left the station, it was on and popping. And the only thing that slowed me down was the birth of my son, bro. And I was damn near when I was 33. You know what I'm talking about? That's the only thing that pumped my brakes. Other than that, I probably would have I would have been a hood star. I would have kept going. The dark, like Jay-Z said in the song, The Allure, there's something about that dark light. It's alluring. And these children, they are tasting, they're drinking from that well and whatnot. And they're embracing death unlike any generation that I've ever seen before. Okay? Remember, they went through C-19. There's no coming back after that. They saw their parents say, look, I can't help you. Their church, their preacher, their pastor, they mamas, they grandmamas, all of the praying in the world. They was like, you on your own. I was speaking to a teacher today who is in the New York City school system, right? And she said she came back from after the C-19, once the schools came back in, she said every day, right? She said it wasn't like this before. They took a year in them, took them out of school for a year. But she said after they came back from the pandemic, every day somebody said SMD to her. Every day. She said they can't, they are attached to their phone. She can't take them out of the matrix. She said she saw growing up people addicted to crack cocaine, and the addiction level that the children are undergoing with the devices supersede the addiction that she saw people under crack cocaine going through. She said if she tries to take the phone from the students, they will fight her. And there's a clause in the New York school that if a child hits you, you will get fired immediately. Why? Because it's the understanding of the administration that if you could not de-escalate a situation and you get hit and you get physically attached by a student, then you don't deserve to be a teacher in this new modern day socialistic school system in New York City that the liberals have taken over. And she also left me with this. She also said that they told us explicitly that she could not pass, she could not fail any one of the students underneath. She cannot give no student under a score of 65. She said there's students that she only seen twice a year who every time they come to class, they smell like bad smoke, bad weed and whatnot. They don't pass nothing. And she had to give them a 65, right? So the schools are infiltrated. The shit is broken. The system is completely disrupted. It's not just a prison, a pipeline anymore. It's a pipeline to the grave, my nigga. They got grave diggers out here. They got these kids as grave diggers and whatnot. So I'm look, we 2 hours in, right? Look, and I'm gonna leave it at this. Check this out.
Children's mental health. Those defendants include TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube. According to the Adams administration, those social media companies are fueling a mental health crisis by streaming harmful content, promoting addiction, and encouraging unsafe behavior. The mayor is citing subway surfing videos as one example.
But these children who do these subway surfings, they post millions of views on social media. When we did something as children, it would just stay on the block. And now that block has expanded.
So I could go into some other shit that's going on in New York, like the attack that I just seen at the shelter and whatnot. But in 2 days, I will go deeper down that rabbit hole. Tonight is just a primer to give you guys some insight as to what is going to be in this lecture. This is a free lecture. I'm not charging y'all a coin. I want you to get this information, and I want you to share this information, and I want you to utilize this information for educational purposes so you could begin to relate to the youth and whatnot and understand what the movement is about, so you're not an outsider and they don't act like you're weird and you're corny and you're outdated and whatnot. I want to help improve the relationship between parents and their children. I want to help improve the relationship between students and teachers. I want to help improve the relationship between quote unquote grown folks and some of their nieces and nephews and whatnot, who they are losing to this dark quote unquote culture, right? This very morbid, this very dark, this $1 billion sponsored deaf culture. It's not a fucking game, right? It's not a fucking game. I talk about it nonchalantly, but it ain't a game. You could get lost in this shit forever, okay? And the stakes that they're playing with right now is very high. It's very high. They're not just tippy-toeing through the tulips. They flirting with death right now. They having overdoses from fentanyl. They smoking they smoking K2 and whatnot. They smoking lace blunts with they taking pills to make their dick hard, and they having heart attacks and whatnot. You feel me? They taking lace pills and whatnot. They ODing, foam coming out their mouth, opiates and whatnot. They got lean bellies and whatnot. Their livers is failing. They pooping on themselves. It is a state of an emergency. It is a state of an emergency. Okay? It's a state of an emergency. So this journey of darkness that we're seeing, this Cali-fornication, the Kali Yuga is not over. The Kali Yuga is not over. We knocking on that door eventually and whatnot. But this is the Kali Yuga right here. This is Cali-fornication. Okay, this is Cali-fornication. Drug use comes with that. You know, the child abuse comes with that. Sex offenders come with that. Sex abuse come with that. Human trafficking comes with that. Murder comes with that. It's a bunch of shit that comes with it. It's not a happy ending. It ain't a happy ending. Everybody can't surf through the darkness and survive it. So we got to break this shit down. Okay? We got to break it down, and that we will. And that's what we've been doing. And we ain't finna stop. You feel me? And with the parents who give a fuck and who care, will be supported and we'll be able to do something. Because I ain't just talking to talk. I'm just not running my mouth just to hear myself. I'm beginning to I don't even want to hear myself too much. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not just talking to hear myself. To be honest with you, you know, Spirit told me to be quiet. So this conversation that we're going to be having on Thursday, this is some shit that's needed. And then hopefully from there, we could do some building. But I'm tired of talking. There's nothing to talk about. If people don't see what's going on and they don't support the individuals who's doing shit, then we not friends. Like, we not on the same page, and I'm not fucking with nobody that's not supporting what I'm doing. You at this point in the game, you must hate me. That's how I see it. You hate my guts. Because if you had any love for me, then you would go ahead. You would fuck around and support what it is, whatever I'm doing. Anything that I'm doing at this point, it should be tried and true. So I'm going to leave it at this because I put this up and I got a lot of responses and whatnot. This is even the fact that I got on the phone with the sister who's a teacher in New York. She damn near was at the point of tears and whatnot. That's how distraught she is as to what she's going to. And I told her, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. You don't got to teach in the school system. I got a network and whatnot, and we're gonna make it. This network cares about their children, and we're gonna make it to where as teachers will have a safe space, and they're not gonna be starving, and they're gonna be able to pay their bills and whatnot, and they're gonna feel relieved. They're gonna feel relieved that we got them off of that hamster wheel and we put them in front of some star seeds and some intelligent children with no restrictions as to what they can teach them. Shame on this system. Shame on these goddamn politicians. Shame on these liberals. Shame on these Democrats and these Republicans. Shame on all of them. Shame on these parent teachers associations. Shame on these goddamn NGOs. Shame on these non-for-profits. Shame on these charter schools. Shame on every single person that be getting dollars in order to tuck their tails. I have a special place in my heart for y'all. You feel me? Because these children are being damaged because we could be giving them so much. We could be loading them up with so many options, so many goddamn. We live in an age of abundance right now. We have so many solutions that we could be giving these children to make them who the fuck they came here to be. But they are being sabotaged by you broken ass, weird ass, hating ass adults. And I wish y'all would get the fuck out of the way, because I promise you, we gonna bulldoze y'all in a minute. We gonna bulldoze y'all in a minute. We not asking anymore. We coming to fucking, we not asking no questions. I'm on my vulture shit, nigga. We coming in like some vultures. We gonna come and make shit happen. We gonna make shit happen, because you can't play nice anymore. You can't play nice anymore. So I put up, don't bring your little gang banging kids around mine. I'm raising nerds around this bitch. I don't want my son in the park with vaxxed up fucking snotty nose kids is cursing with yellow 40 GMO heads and whatnot. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm practicing segregation. You know what I'm saying? I'm practicing segregation. Mines is not going to be around all of that. And mines is not going to be one of those. And mines is not going to motherfucking aspire to be one of these motherfucking children. And no disrespect to them. Like I said, that's fertilizer. That's fertilizer. You know what I mean? All of that is fertilizer. But at the end of the day, where the fuck are the institutions for our children? And don't talk to me about Dr. Umar's school, because that's the same. Y'all niggas be deflecting and be throwing everything on motherfucking Umar's shoulders when why is he responsible for your after school center? Why is he responsible for your creator space? Why is he responsible for your maker space? Y'all got everything else. Why the fuck the children don't got nothing? You feel me? Where's the manufacturing facilities for them? Where the fuck can they go to learn about VR and AR and all of that? Where the fuck is that? All of the places that you got in Atlanta that even deal with that, they want $20,000 when you walk in certain doors to do shit. Like, where are the cost-efficient, quote-unquote, disruptor places where I could take my child in order for his ass to turn into a fucking Jedi? Where? With all of these black women, with all of these grants, with all of this money that y'all making, where the fuck are the places at? With all of these men, with all of this dope you niggas is selling, and all of this money that y'all got, and all of this financial literacy, why the fuck did y'all not build anything yet? That's what I want to know. What about these children? We literally have X-Men amongst us. We got Avengers amongst us, but they'll never turn into that if you niggas don't catch them from 0 to 7. We dropping the big ball. We dropping the big ball. We dropping the big ball. Real talk, bro. Karen Hunter and Dr. Carr have a model for this as well in class. Well, send me the information, please. I would love to, venture forth into their world and whatnot, because I need solutions and answers. I'm not comfortable with what I'm seeing right now. I'm not content. I'm not comfortable. You feel me? And I'm damn sure not happy as to what the fuck is taking place. They got our children in a very precarious position right now. And I promise you, I'm going to show you at the end of the Thursday's lecture, if you don't do nothing, Playboy Cardi and them is going to do something. If you don't do nothing, nigga, Destroy Lonely and Homicide Gang is going to do something. 4PL is going to do something. You know what I'm talking about? YSL is going to do something. They got plans for your children. They're going to gangbang them. They're going to initiate them into the gangs. They're going to drug them up. They're going to put them on lean. They're going to put them on pills. They're going to give them face tats. They're going to face pierce them. They got a lot planned for your children. And those rappers bring those children right to the Zionists to finish them off. That's who that they are funneled to the Zionists and whatnot. So people got to wake up. And I'm tired of I ring the alarm and I look like the crazy one because they don't support nothing that we do. They don't support what we do and they don't respect what we do. And this is the people that I'm talking about. I can't put this on the white man don't got nothing to do with the people. It's the people that's dropping the ball. Stop blaming white people. Niggas wake up every day to fucking blame white people for their for their shortcomings. And I'm tired of it. I'm done with that shit. I'm done. Y'all could wear somebody else out. You ain't gonna waste my good years with this shit. I promise you. Cause that's all the people will do. I seen how y'all do. Look, I'm not even gonna say his name, but you'll die in this community, and them niggas will forget about you in a few weeks. Like nothing, like you never put no points on the board, like you never contributed nothing, like you did nothing, like you never existed, because everybody's running around chasing everyone else. They just sack chasing. Everybody's sack chasing and jumping on bandwagons and just running around doing high school shit. They not solid like that. Motherfuckers can't stand 10 toes down with a person if it costs them their life. I don't know what the fuck. I don't come from that. I stand 10 toes. My shit is the way that we was raised. If we riding with you, we riding all the way through. All the way through. This community needs to be destroyed and rebuilt again. That's how I see it. This shit is defunct in ways that is non-repairable. You know what I mean? Because you got brought in underneath a nihilistic paradigm. You have, you know what I mean? There's no meaning. You don't have no meaning in this shit. You think this shit is about something that is not. So, like, I'm gonna leave y'all with Breathless. I'm done with my presentation. Like I said, the link is in the bio. Sign up. I'll see you. If you there, I'll see you. If you're not, I won't. You know what I mean? But we, you know, we teaching. You know what I mean? We getting back to the teaching. I will never let nobody stop me from teaching. You know, at the peace, love, and light. And hit the Cash App. You know what I'm talking about? Show some love, show some appreciation. Vote with your dollar. You know what I'm talking about? Peace.
Crushing the socials, rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, kissing the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT, mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift for sing. I'm the less Elon, straight out of Pelon. I'm victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus. They packing the seats up, cracking like C4C. They say it won't happen again, like Ye getting back with Adidas. He back with the heaters, back in the sweepers, all black like a pack of fajitas. Used to get stacks for the features, now niggas they pay us with straps on the back of their sneakers just to come slack with the teachers. We made them a promise and made us some comments. They paid us some homage. We married the game and they gave us Madonna. No maiden, no honor. Rebuking the priesthood like Sinead O'Connor.
If I take the breath, God gave you to breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me. As I mumble on Pro Tools. Spaceship, I could hover and cloak too. I abducted and probe you. Fly till I got the tongue of a toad too. On the rumble with Goku. It wasn't even close. I thought somebody told you. I'd be munching on gold shroom till I grow you. Like I jumped on a toadstool. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm hearing, I'm the
Red pillar. Crushing the socials, rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, kissing the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT, mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift for sing. I'm the less Elon, straight out of Pelon. I'm victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus. They packing the seats up, cracking like C4C. They say it won't happen again, like Ye getting back with Adidas. He back with the heaters, back in the sweepers, all black like a pack of fajitas. Used to get stacks for the features, now niggas they pay us with straps on the back of their sneakers just to come slack with the teachers. We made them a promise and made us some comments. They paid us some homage. We married the game and they gave us Madonna. No maiden, no honor. Rebuking the priesthood like Sinead O'Connor.
if I take the breath, God gave you to breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me. As I mumble on Pro Tools. Spaceship, I could hover and cloak too. I abducted and probe you. Fly till I got the tongue of a toad too. On the rumble with Goku. It wasn't even close. I thought somebody told you. I'd be munching on gold shroom till I grow you. Like I jumped on a toadstool. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm hearing I'm the fairest of them all. I clearly am a pharaoh and a god. There is no comparing me to y'all. Repeat a mantra manifesting wealth. So me and all my family have held. Destroy the world and build it back better. My mind, I build a planet by myself. Unbelievable. I'm achieving the unachievable. I'm conceiving the unconceivable. All the demons that summon speak Hebrew. We play peekaboo. Unpredictable. Unexplainable. Inexplicable. Undefinable. Undescriptible. Underrated. Unequivocal. Unforgivable. Feeling like I become invisible. Underground like the mud and mineral. Industry is so fucking pitiful. Only signing the thugs and criminal. Honestly, I would love to kill a few. Treat around like a blood and crip would do. Kid in school, I would punch the principal. Treat the system like what would Hitler do. If I take the breath, God gave you to breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is me.
Dodge in the rainstorms, gotta be chained on, frozen like brain freeze. Golden like 18, swollen like 8 beans. From the borough where they take green. Shit, we throw in the mainstreams. Leave a nigga sniffing in steak greens. Look, you're sweeter than pastries, cheaping on lace squeeze. Got a nigga face ski. say cheese. Had to rub it in like grapeseed. Till it bleed blue like Grape Street. Spitting over rape meats. Slipping off her waist beats. I got the gas, baked beans. God is a nap that can make memes. Not in an app, make cream. I got it in the bag, rake leaves. I did dirt since my late teens. Now it's a must that we stay clean. Establish trust, stay cream. Added up with no late fees. Mad as fuck when you waste cream. It's adding up through the late fees. Odds attack, that's a space beat. Odds attack like a hate speech. Odds intact like we make drinks. Odds is back like a lace string. Look, roll up some trees, we can pour up some tea. Flow like a CD, you know that it's me. Pablo appearing on Holy Ghost 3. Throw us a beat, we gon' bon appetit. Home I'm a beast on the road, I'm a freak. We don't flow, we don't speak, that's the code of the street.
If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is knees. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. That engine is knees.